Hello, football enthusiasts. Welcome to Blaqsport Podcast. I am your host, like always, Insonet Uche, and I'm still on the wheel to take you through what is happening in the African Cup of Nations 2025, happening live in Morocco. This is match day 10, and you all know that when it comes to match day 10, the door is shut. The players are crying, fans are crying, people are jubilating, and like you all know, we are here to catch all the drama. I keep saying this, I'm missing the drama for the last minute, and match day 10 gave me every single detail of those drama, and we are here to dive into it. But hold up, I have a guest here. This is not just like another guest you've been saying, this is a household name. An OAP, a media personality. This is someone you hear on the radio every single time. His voice is ringing in your ear. But just wait, hold up, let me give you one more thing. I've been with this guy for more than 6 years, 10 years. He's a football lover and a passionate football enthusiast. So make no noise, make the drums rolling. Let me welcome to you no one else but Tici Barrah. Welcome to Blaqsport Podcast. Welcome, TC.
I've looked forward to this for a very long time. And you are doing your setup. You got the accreditation.
Yeah.
Yes, you were ready. You were gearing the energy and all that. I'm like, wow. Okay, so it'd be great to be on this show and get to lend my 2 cents to definitely what's happening at the AFCON Cup of Nations. First time we're experiencing it during Christmas celebration. So predominantly Muslim country, by the way, but then you have Christians celebrating the Christmas and New Year celebrations while the AFCON Cup of Nations is going on. So it's a great time, it's a great tournament. And we're also looking down to the 2030 World Cup, which will be co-hosted by Morocco, by the way, to what the world is going to see, in the next couple of years. So it's good to be on your show.
Welcome, TC. You know what I love about those days when I'm actually going to work. I normally have you on my ears in the car by 7 a.m. My colleague who'll be so happy to see you on the show because he kept telling me, I am Tici Barrah. I can't even forget that. That was it. He keeps saying this. I'm saying this for the first time. You don't know it, but I promise you, once he sees this, I'm going to send you a screenshot of whatever he says because he is the one that will be. He's a very big fan of you. I must say, very super big fan. He'll be happy to have you on this show, and I'm sending you that screenshot once he sees this. So, thank you so much for being here, TC. I must really appreciate that. Now, there's this question we normally ask anyone who comes to Blaqsport Podcast, and that question is, when did you fall in love with football?
So, just as is the case with every family, especially in the eastern part of Nigeria, where I was born into. I grew up in Port Harcourt, by the way. So every family has its own cultural values, creed. You had the Masquerade Festival. Some places in Ohafia, you join certain age groups and stuff. Yeah. Football is a family thing. Okay. We were born into football. My dad didn't get the opportunity to play professional football, but he played my village's local league. He was a defender. And that also made me want to play football because when he talked about, in quote, about ball, when we were playing ball, when we were much younger, and he kept in his tackles that you can't dribble past him, he will bring you down, So having those stories at the back of my mind, and like I said, watching Nigerian Super Eagles play, notably the 1996 Olympics. I had followed the 1994 World Cup, but we didn't progress so far, despite putting up a very resilient, tough side. Great competition from the folks back in the day. Great team, by the way. The 1996 Olympics was the defining moment. It was a time when Nigeria football was announced to the world. Yeah. That Olympic team, I think it was called the Dream Team at that time.
Yeah, that's the Dream Team.
The night when I can't forget the night when we played Brazil, coming from I think 3 goals down to to equalize, level up, and win. And that iconic dance move where Kano Wanko was going around, in circles, BD replicated, right? In our second game against Tunisia, I can't forget that. I watched it on TV.
Yeah.
I watched my father erupt into momentous joy, fling open our balcony, and was screaming goal into the night because that game was played about 2 a.m., 3 a.m. It was in the United States, and we had to stay awake. We had to stay awake to watch that game, and you could hear, people, the noise renting the air in the middle of the night. You don't stay awake as a child in my father's house past 9 p.m. Why? But we were given the opportunity to be part of that moment. And I think that's the point I fell in love with football, with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And I dare say that at some point I dreamed of even playing for the Super Eagles because, at some point in my life, I think when I was in secondary school, I played the under-13 youth form, in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. I wasn't such a prolific player because I was always conscious of the fact that my dad says, if you break your leg, I'm going to deal with you. I had to sneak out of the house to go play and stuff like that. And then when I got into university, I joined the team. So at some point, football was a thing for me. I was so passionate. I wanted to play. And then I did get the chance to play in my village's local league, scoring an all-important goal for my clan at some point. And, it was a good feeling. Right? Yeah. So, but then when I started off broadcasting, I think it was Derele, the popular Derele dude, who heard me speak and was like, the way you sound, you're supposed to be a sports presenter. I had come for an audition, Ebony Live TV, to co-host Ebony Live TV, hotels in Lagos, and he was one of the judges with me at Afo. I was like, the way you talk, the way you're supposed to go into sports, they really might not know, but I think I did a post one time about it on Instagram, and he went and left a comment. But I mean, that was the defining moment. That was the point where he said, oh, sports, maybe this guy has seen something that I have not seen. So those milestones or those timelines what has brought me to where I am today when it comes to sports, going on to work as a media officer, part of the media team for Abia Worlds, and as media officer for Abia Comets Football Club. At some point, I lost the idea of working for the Super Eagles in the media department, but those people who are there in that glass house, they have refused to go. So we'll continue to watch them from the sides.
Yes, most definitely. And one good thing about your story, I must say, almost everyone who comes to this platform, I've asked this question, mainly Nigerians, circled around that 1996. So it shows, because that is when Nigeria announced themselves to the world. It was a turning point for a whole lot of people, and children, kids within that time frame, that changed the perception about football. And watching your kid and your father and everybody seeing the kind of joy he have brought to the society, that shows you that sports is something to reckon with. So you are not alone. I will tell you, if you go back on this sport, almost every single one that came on this sport keep talking about how that 1996 changed their life. So that to show you what football means to a whole lot of people and to Nigerians. So let's actually head back to what we are, which is the African Cup of Nations 2025 happening live in Morocco. So we have two matches today. The late kickoff, which happened around 7 o'clock UK time, and the other one that happened around 4 o'clock 7 UK time. So we're going to be taking it one after the other. And the first one here on our screen, which we'll be talking about, is these are the features. So the features right here is we have Equatorial Guinea playing against Algeria, we have Sudan playing against Burkina Faso, and Gabon against Ivory Coast, which is the defending champions, and Mozambique against Cameroon. Yesterday, we have the Cameroonian journalist back here, back in his club with his full chest. That is going to be a must-win and a compulsory win. So, too bad. Tonight, we're going to be discussing whether that went in their favor or against them. So the first game result we're going to be discussing now is Sudan and Burkina Faso. Now, in this game, Sudan, everyone, if you've been following the match day 1, match day 2, match day 3, you understand that I've been rooting for Sudan to actually move to the next round. And this game is a testament that they've tried to actually come apart with their fellow counterparts, but this scoreline did not reflect it as actually expected, because I said tonight there must be a twist. Burkina Faso won by 2-0 with Torres scoring in the 16th minute and Kouassi scoring in the 85th minute. So let me ask you, TC, was that the result you expected?
Well, Burkina Faso has been able to prove that, I mean, they can grow in the competition, or there's room for, growth in the competition, right? And, if you look at what is being so far in the tournament, considering the array of players that they still parade, some notable names, including Barnes. I was surprised to see that Barnes was still playing for Faso. So they have a compact side, and what that might point to is some level of consistency and handover, right? If you have a bit of experience and the newbies in the same team, it gives room for cohesion, and there is going to be a proper handover between the players. So going with that, it just points to the fact that Burkina Faso wouldn't be a team or a side that you can wish away. Yes, sentiments might be on the side of Sudan, but I think Burkina Faso was a better team on the night without any iota of doubt. It's good that Sudan are qualifying as one of the best third place teams. So sentiments for those persons who feel, towards like Sudan, myself. That could carry on. Sudan.
Like myself. So
I understand.
Okay, so that's it. So Sudan.
So, but Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso has also won the African Cup of Nations tournament. Yes. So for a team who were called African champions, a couple of tournaments ago, I can't pinpoint the exact year now, but not too long ago. You don't think you can actually just say a Sudanese team? The odds were not stacked in the favor of Sudan, without mincing words.
You're actually correct. Going by what is expected, Burkina Faso is meant to win this game. We are all here. I love twists in this competition. I love to see where underdogs come to shake the stage, just like Morocco did, came in.
The fairy tale story, it makes for good headline and talking points, yeah. But I don't think that should have been the case now, right?
Yeah.
The truth is, if you look at the round of 16 fixtures, the permutations are right. The teams that are supposed to go through to the next round are the teams that we're seeing making it to the next round. So the permutations are right. We've not had any fairy tale story. For want of better example, I don't even think Tunisia give us the best when it comes to this tournament. Yes, they have qualified as second best from the group where you have Nigeria, but Tunisia were not great in the group stages of this tournament. For considering or comparing what we've known them for, and if you had we felt Tunisia would have given Nigeria a run for their money, some difficulty in qualifying with 9 points from the group stages. But that's not the case. We were the ones who even let our guard down, right? Because if we did not, it would have been a humiliation for the North African side.
Now, if you're going by that, looking about what my fellow colleague talked about yesterday, Tunisia has been seen as the silent competitors. That was the word. They are the silent competitors in every AFCON. You know they will always get to that stage. You know they will always progress. They're always a silent competitor. So in the case of Nigeria, I think they met a better side. I can see some people on X were saying that most of their fans, the Tunisian fans, that they have never felt so humbled than the way they felt against Nigeria, especially that Osimhen was totally unmarkable. This was the situation they were actually saying. It was a painful thing to watch, seeing your whole great team scrambling for ball. So it shows that they made a better side. So don't take it away from the Tunis, because I must say those guys are balling. If you watch the previous game, you see that Nigeria was only team that was better than them in this competition, and that shows that Super Eagles are ready. So let's actually move to the next game that we have, which is we're talking about the Burkina Faso and Sudan. Now we move over to Equatorial Guinea and Algeria. This was a more like a dismantling of the Equatorial Guinea side, because Algeria was too fantastic. They had a 3 goals up earlier in the game before they had a consolation goal. Equatorial Guinea, I was not surprised they even got that, because when you go 3 goals up, it has a way of demoralizing you totally on your own performance. They were able to sneak in 1-2 at the 50th minute, but it didn't change anything. I thought they were about to bite, but they still went back to their shells. Was this result what you expected? The scoreline. Let me use the scoreline because the result.
Yes, definitely. But then a lot more when it comes to domination of the game, right? Algeria, and for me,
yes,
the Algerian side, Phoenix of Algeria, are one of the contenders of the African Cup of Nations 2025. Put Morocco aside. The ginger Morocco is having is because they are a host nation. But Algeria and Egypt are one of the contenders for this competition. They've done everything right. They have the right mindset. They had the right facilities. They trained up to the right moment. They have a good team. And I mean, they've dominated the group. Talking about Group E, winning that group in some style.
Yes.
So, what's not to expect from the result from the last group game? I mean, right now, Algeria has moved past to Equatorial Guinea even before they moved past them, even before the game started, and they had their eyes set on the second round, if I may, right? So, as a matter of fact, I feel that's the level of confidence any bookmaker, if you're a bookmaker, you would have when it comes to the Algerian side. So there was no sort of what do you describe it? There's no competition. It didn't feel as though Equatorial Guinea were going to rear their head. They weren't going to bite. They were probably just backing.
Yes. So also the fact that Algeria has already qualified before this game, having 6 points already. Now with this, they are joining Nigeria to have 9 points to actually qualify with full authority into marching into the playoffs of the round 16. That's kind of thing we expect for the big teams in the tournament, to stamp your authority into the tournament and let the next opponent know that they're about to play the big sharks. And with that, we can have a look what the group will be looking like. We have Algeria topping table with 9 points, with a goal difference of 7-1, and Burkina Faso with 6 points. Also with the goal difference of 4-2, and Sudan, luckily having only 3 points in the game now, is there to move where the ranking of the third ranking to actually progress to the playoffs. So it was a good thing, and Equatorial Guinea failed to actually score or even win. Okay, they scored, but they failed to win a single game in this tournament, and not even a draw. I think with this performance, what would you actually reckon for the Equatorial Guinea side in preparation for the next AFCON?
Well, better luck next time. Just like we talked about the Ugandan side, they're the ones who are going to be hosting the next African Cup of Nations. Uganda. and some person was watching an interview, and they said it's better you leave early so you can start preparing, for the next competition. So I think that's the same thing that you apply to Equatorial Guinea. It's best you leave early so you go back to the drawing board and see if you can, get yourself ready ahead of the next competition. Because the other teams who are here, and they've not finished processing it now. So they start. If I use an Igbo phrase, balo balo, that doggedness to try to stay and go through to the final, right? Yeah. So Equatorial Guinea now can watch the game from the sideline, and just like Uche, he says he's going to be following Nigeria and rooting for Nigeria to win the tournament. Equatorial Guinea should find a team that they'll be rooting for to win the finals.
Okay, that is it for Group E. So let's actually match into the game that is the highlight of the day, which is Mozambique and Cameroon. So this game here, we have two matches going on at the same time, like you all know, when it comes to the final game. So the first one was going in Agadir, which is where the Cameroon we actually played, they camped in there, and the other one was actually going in Marrakesh, which is another drama altogether going on there. So we're going to dive into this first, which is the Mozambique and Cameroon. It came as a surprise, especially when we saw the Mozambique scoring first, and that changed the whole dynamic of the game because they were straight up to the top of the table, and I was like, whoa, no one saw this coming. Before they had an own goal from Cameroon because their player actually mistakenly put the ball on the back of the net at the 28th minute, and then their striker Kofan scored with a wonderful shot from outside the box. That was this is the second strike I'm loving in this tournament to actually secure them the win that they need at the 55 minutes to seal it up. What would you make of this match, please, Tici?
Well, our next door neighbors, the Lions of Cameroon, I think they were caught napping for Mozambique to have slipped one through. Clearly, they were favorites going into this, right? Mozambique can be termed the underdog. Cameroon being a football powerhouse, led by a much younger coach as compared to the former international Rigobert Song, who used to steer the ship back there. I've seen them, quite far from their glory days. Now, if you take a look at the Cameroonian side, there was a time they dominated Africa. There was a time when the team, the country were a threat even to the biggest, teams, Nigeria, Algeria, and the likes. And they're known to play with a lot of physicality, strength, energy. You take it back to the days of Patrick Mboma, and you see the way they played. They marched to toe for toe. The only persons who I think they could be compared to were the Italian side, because Italy played with a lot of energy and physicality. But then Cameroon has waned, if you agree with me. There's been that slight drop in the performance, in the ranking, and what they do. But then, it is not to say that in this competition that they've not grown. They have come into this competition, they have improved, and they have qualified for the second round. So, but ahead of the game against Mozambique, it seemed as though that it could have gone either way because of the way Mozambique were, the Mozambican side were, pushing and threatening to, dominate. But if I had to use a Wafi language, if you do gra 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 gra, see your brother go still they watch you. And so Cameroon showed why they were why they are way ahead in the rankings and in football development, as compared to Mozambique. For lack of a better word, they're a powerhouse as compared to Mozambique. The scoreline does not reflect the intensity of the game.
Definitely.
The scoreline does not reflect the intensity of the game. If Mozambique could have pulled one, they could have dragged this all the way, right? and eventually getting one more point would have given them a better position, which is what they yearned for. But it's good that Mozambique was still able to qualify as one of the third best team. So what you would have seen in that tactical approach from the Mozambican side is try to see if you can, win from the beginning if you're not still 1 point, and let it be balanced, and that gives you ahead an advantage. But Cameroon would have lost out on that. They would have been the ones who would be probably
Problem for
finishing third,
Mhm.
right? Or and it might not be a good thing for them. But then finishing second, just behind Ivory Coast, it seems like the best result. And then there's a piece of cake for everybody, a bit of pie for everyone. Talking about Ivory Coast, Cameroon, and Mozambique. Gabon are the ones who are losing out of this. Are we talking about Gabon just yet?
They were actually missed
Just
out.
before
They were going concurrently because the things were all changing. The ladder was all changing during the game.
per
It kept
second,
changing. Yes, so it was whole lot of excitement. And for me,
and there were not more goals between Gabon and Cote d'Ivoire. It was a
yes,
five-goal thriller, right? And
it's
this shows you
something.
that the pendulum could have swung anyway.
It could have actually gone
The
anywhere.
pendulum
At
could have
first,
swung.
I was
Yes,
looking at Beliba. Beliba was had a very poor performance because I blame him so much in all this because he was the one that we are rooting to be the building block. The transition from the defense, he want to take the ball from the defense and transition into the attacking side, but he didn't come apart at all because you can imagine a game where almost all of them were poor in performance. Even the best player or man of the match was not even from Cameroon. So you can imagine that it was just like they sneaked in that win to show you confirm that shot was just unexpectedly to give that win. If not for that, it could have been a stalemate. And you're talking about Gabon because both matches were actually going concurrently. So going into that Gabon match, you understood that Gabon, the result were 2 is to against the Cote d'Ivoire, winning by 3 goals against the Gabon side. They were winning 2 goals in the beginning of the game. This I was shocked because
yeah.
Gabon gave me something that I was saying, finally, finally, I got a twist and then in this tournament. Finally, I got it. So I was celebrating on that, having those 2 goals up against Cote d'Ivoire, that finally that we have gotten that twist. But the time, like I said, time keep changing the game. The game ended, they equalized, they came back. Defending champions came back and led the game at the injury time. So this shows me all I need to know about the African Cup of Nations. Please walk me through how you felt throughout this game, please.
Okay, so Cote d'Ivoire, current holders of the African Cup of Nations trophy, and it just shows you the kind of stuff they are made of. I would also say that Gabon is no minnows when it comes to African football. They've shown beyond every reasonable doubt that they are great contenders of high ranking when it comes to African football. We saw them when during the World Cup qualifiers playing against the Super Eagles. It was a tug of war. I mean, they tugged at us for so long, and then coming into this competition, they've also proved beyond every reasonable doubt that they could go all the way. They could face any team, and they could hold their own. But then the resilience of the Ivorians coming from 2 goals down there. Why would they call the team elephants? Why would a team be called elephants if it's not to stomp? They were able to stomp their way back into the game. And it tells you that, I mean, however this is going to go, Cote d'Ivoire are here to stay. But ahead of the game, it was obvious that there was going to be serious issues. Insonet. It felt like it was going to be a clash of the titans. And you know what they say? That say when 2 elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. So it was the stadium, the pitch, the turf that felt the boots, the studs of these players going at each other's jugglers, and a thrilling comeback. That's what football is made of. But if I were asked if I what I had expected or how it was going to go, I couldn't in a million years
Yes.
say that Gabon would lead Cote d'Ivoire by 2 goals to nil and somehow lose grip of that lead for the Ivorians to take over. I mean, what we've seen in the course of the tournament is you have high score margin, or
Yeah.
and the other teams might not be able to catch up eventually. But this happened, and it's something that's going to be a talking point for the next couple of days.
I think the coach Faye, I must give him kudos as well, but I still have him to blame because the coach fielding in some players, some fresh legs into the starting lineup, trying to actually get this game going. I think going by the standard of how Gabon has played in the past two games, have not even secured a single point. Anyone would think that this is going to be a walkover of, let's just say, how many goals and could have scored today, maybe about 4 or 5. So he didn't go into this game with all seriousness. And being the defending champions, it also has its own spirit, its own aura that you actually come into the pitch with. And this is a
And pressure as well. Pressure.
yes. So that actually changed a whole lot of things. I can see him putting Ahmad in the second half, doing a whole lot of changes before you saw this score line. You can see the final goal that was scored by Torre is a teenager. This is his debut in the African Cup of Nations and his second match for Cote d'Ivoire. So this is a big deal. So you can imagine where he threw in the dice. So I call this just the dice they threw in. I actually worked. So sometimes I give him the credit, but I still feel he still have a lot to go in this. Now, looking at this score line, if you are a coach, how will you react to your players at the end of this game?
The Ivorian coach or the Gabonese
No,
coach.
Ivorian coach. As a Ivorian coach, how will you react to your players at the end of this score line? Well, how will you react?
So I feel what I'm going to tell the boys is you were caught napping. You underestimated your opponent. You underestimated the enemy. You let two slip, not just one. You let two slip. But I'll commend them for being resilient. But we also need to commend the coach for making such a super sub, because if he were in the tactical changes, it means he read the game and understood, and the introduction of the new sub to put in that late pressure to score the goal, we probably wouldn't have seen. So he understands his boys, he understands his players. He was able to, do the right thing
Yes.
on time, and that he got the desired result. So I think he already told them what he needed to tell them, which is go in there, convert, because you need to get into the second round. You're the champions. You cannot be dropping off, off the bus in the first round of the competition. So I feel it was all motivation. It's good that a coach is able to read the game very well, and probably be a great psychologist and able to, psych the boys and put them in the right frame of mind to go from 2 goals down to winning the competition. That's the mentality of a great winner. I mean, that's what makes great teams stand out.
Yeah, you're actually correct on that because in as much as the scoreline does not reflect how they are champions, but finally at the end of the day, they were able to turn things around and mark the authority in the competition. Because right now we're entering the stage whereby you need to mount your authority in this game. The time for shenanigans on this stage are gone. We have differentiated the boys from the men, so it's time for us to get cracking in the playoffs. So let's have a look into the group stage. You can see here we have Ivory Coast topping the table with 7 points, shared with Cameroon with 7 points. The EWW Lions was not able to meet up due to goal differences against the Ivorian side. Mozambique on the top position with three points, although yes, it's already secured, topping the ranking of the top, goes the third ranking. Let me have that on the screen. Yeah, so Mozambique is on top of the third place ranking with 3 points, followed by Benin with 3 points as well, Sudan with 3 points. Tanzania, I don't know how it happened, escaped. How can you go in with just 2 points? I didn't see that coming.
Well, we need three third place teams, and when you do the ranking, I think they come at tops. They were able to sneak in there. So
Yeah,
um,
I mean,
for me, it's sheer luck. It's sheer luck. But they get a chance. They get one more ticket, a lifeline to be able to prove themselves in this competition.
I remember when Nigeria used to be in this situation whereby we remember punch the calculators, if this guy score, let's see what the score. So it's really good. It's been a change of situations that we didn't have to
No,
go
change
to
of
calculator
road
phase.
scenarios.
Yeah, it was a good one. And now let's have a look into what the playoffs looks like. So we have the playoffs right now. Mali is going to play against Tunisia. We have Senegal to play against Sudan. Egypt to play against Benin Republic. Ivory Coast to play against Burkina Faso. South Africa to play against Cameroon. Morocco to play against Tanzania, and Algeria to play against Congo DR, and Nigeria to play against Mozambique. This is really a hot round of 16. Now, before I get your thoughts on all these games, which game do you think you looking out to watch? Do you think it's going to be a super match to look out for? Which game? Which match?
So of course, Nigeria, Mozambique. I just have to. I would
Okay.
want to, but then Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso. That's a tough fixture there. The reigning champions taking on Burkina Faso side. It could be an open. It could swing either way. That
Yeah.
particular fixture can go either way. You know that for Algeria. They are unbeaten winners in Group E. They'll be taking on DR Congo, who, of course, we're still having that battle over if they're going to the World Cup and stuff like that. But then a very physical and tactical side. Nigeria has had a perfect run. Mozambique might not be a strong showing if we continue playing, or the Super Eagles continue playing the way they played in the group stages of this competition, right? It might not be a tough battle, but then I would be sentimental when Benin takes on Egypt, because I'd want to see how Benin will be resilient in the face of a very, very, very strong powerhouse when it comes to football, parading some of the best players on the continent as well. South Africa, Cameroon will be that kind of Ivorian, Burkina Faso kind of game, a very intense. The South African side taking on a West African team. Physically, it will be intense. The matchup is great. But then, like I said, for Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, that could swing its way. Likewise, South Africa, Cameroon. It could be any ones for the taking. Morocco, Tanzania seems like it's going to be the host. They're
Yeah.
going to have the crowd for backup. They've got a great team as well. Tanzania might just be picked off from the roots. They're completely uprooted. It might not be so easy for them to play under that pressure. They would require a third man. They would require probably, the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They'll need a fourth man in the burning furnace for them to walk through that particular firestorm. So Senegal, Sudan, competitive clash, no doubt, but it seems like it's going to go Senegalese way. Sadio Mane and the boys looking very resilient. We saw how they struggled in the game before the last fixture, but ended up routing the team. So that's to tell you that they've grown into the competition. They're here to also exercise authority, stamp the authority, and show that they're not going to be pushed over. So the Sudanese side will be the ones who will be begging to be let go. But Mali, Tunisia.
Yeah.
So Mali Tunisia falls into the category of South Africa, Cameroon, and
Yeah.
Ivory Coast and
Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso. So there's a conflict of tactical discipline against attacking flair. Tunisia has got a great side. You saw what Habib did. What's his name? Hannibal did against Nigeria, despite
Wow.
being caged, but he ran there. He was the one who clamored strongly for the handball that led to the penalty and the conversion eventually. And so against a Mali side, we'll see Tunisia, who have also, like you call them, silent competitors, growing into the game just like Senegal. and causing maybe a major upset. And don't forget, because they are North African side, they might have the sympathy of the host country, who might also come all out to support them. So some of those psychological off-pitch, scenarios might also take a toll on Mali, who, will be facing them in the round of 16.
Right. So I can see what you're actually saying, just quite actually on point. Now, if there to be an upset, which particular game are you looking at to have an upset? If there to be one, which one?
So the biggest story that could get out of this competition is Tanzania beating Morocco.
Damn, that was a wide one. This that's big, man.
If Tanzania beats Morocco, it would be the biggest story from the African Cup of Nations, and it would be sheer luck if that happens, right? So I could have talked about Algeria and DR Congo, but DR Congo is bound for World Cup. You're not going to say they are not going to put up a fight, right? It's not going to be an easy game, despite the fact that Algeria is prolific. Apart from Morocco, Tanzania, is Mozambique knocking out Nigeria as well. So those two is what will give, this tournament the talking points we probably would not forget in years to come. A Tanzanian side knocking out Morocco, or Mozambique sending Nigeria Super Eagles back home. It will be devastating. It will be. I can't find the right words to express, but it's just going to be. It's how do they say that? It's plenty. It will be. It's plenty.
Okay. Let's have a quick look. All right. So thank you so much on this. And from my own point of view, let me try to give you a illusion that's going to happen. Cameroon is going. South Africa is going to beat Cameroon black and blue. And the reason for this is, if you watch the game all this while, they are the only side that they lost against Egypt, regardless of 10-man down. But Egypt suffered. What I mean, Egypt suffered till they had a red card in the first half of the game. Second half, they suffered till the end of the game. They were unlucky not to actually have a draw, and that actually came to haunt them at some point. But South African side, those guys are not chilling. Watching what Cameroon have actually done, if you go through their game, you'll see that they have not been fantastic all through this tournament. They have been kind of moving like a snail all this while. We know that those kind of players are the players that normally progress to the final, because it's not about how you go, it's about how well at the end of the day. But in terms of performance, South Africa will actually win Cameroon on a clean slate. That's one I'm actually rooting for. Then Morocco, Tanzania, like you said, I love an upset. That will actually change the whole dynamic of the game. But for some time, you need a host nation to be in play for the tournament to still be bubbling. You understand? You need them. But Tanzania have not really given me so much of excitement to watch. I'll still go by what you said. Morocco should win. But if there's an upset, that would be a nice one to actually have a very big upset in this tournament. Then Algeria and Congo. It's good to have a good payback to Congo. I don't know, for some reason I'm being sentimental here. Yeah. I need them to go. I need Congo to go. But Algeria, so that's the match to what I'm indecisive in that outcome. Nigeria, Mozambique. Nigeria have been the favorite so far alongside with Algeria. So I've seen them having a clear 3 points in this game. Mali, Tunisia, I would say indecisive in that game. I just see what turns around. Then another upset that I need Sudan to beat Senegal. I've been rooting for Sudan for some reason. I think they need to do something. I believe in them. So I want to believe in them. So Sudan, please, I believe in you. I want you to do something. All right? I want you to send Sunny home. Send money home, sorry. Send money home. I want them to go back, please. Because they're the side I've seen, they need that boost. They need a whole lot of encouragement to actually go further in this tournament. And I am one of their big supporters in this tournament for Sudan to actually go forward. Now, in terms of Egypt, Benin Republic, we all know how it's going to turn out. Benin is actually going home. Egypt is a better side in this situation. So I know this just for me, what I think I'm going in this round of 16. Now, About you, TC, which player impressed you most in this whole round of 16? Seems like a tough one.
Well, I would have to be. I would have to be very sentimental.
Yeah.
I would have to be very sentimental. Yeah. So quite a number of players across, across board from the different countries. I've seen great goals. What's that guy's name? The guy who scored twice from the bicycle kick.
Oh, El
I mean, he
Kabi.
was.
Is it El Kabi that scored twice?
He was El Kabi.
El Kabi. Damn. That's it
It
for
was
you.
good. It was
You
good.
was right. El Kabi. But you be sentimental here. Is it El Kabi or who are you comparing
I
against?
said I would have gone for El Kabi,
Okay.
but I feel there's someone who has been like a sleeping giant in this tournament,
Yeah.
and that's Ademola Lookman.
Okay.
Picking player of the tournament, player of the match once,
Yeah.
right? And you've seen him do a yeoman's job. He was really,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's because Eric Chile has realized that that guy is a playmaker.
Yeah.
But one thing they like about him is his unassuming nature.
Yes.
Ademola Lookman is on the pitch and he's acting in, he's coordinated, he's comport, he has himself all together.
Yeah.
So I don't know how, when you go to university, they say in character and in learning, you have distinguished yourself. So he doesn't have that aggression. You see, he's not picking up cards.
Yeah.
So when it comes to fair play, he's on point. When it comes to
He also
control, he's on point. And so if I have to be sentimental, I'll go with Ademola Lookman for Nigeria.
Yeah, Ademola Lookman for Nigeria is quite a surprising one, honestly. But I must confirm, Lookman has been a stand-up player, serious, straight up to business, no shenanigans. He's just, let's get this done, and he's unpredictable, like you actually said. That's a good choice. Ademola Lookman for me, I think, is Brahim Diaz, and I'm saying it for the second time because if Morocco miraculously gets to the final, just gets to the final, he is going to win the player of the tournament. The way he has bamboozled all the defenders, the way he has been dancing around, creating chances, scoring, and right now he's sitting a joint with Ekabi as the highest goal scorer of the tournament with 3 goals. This guy is a guy to watch. I know for some reason he's been the one carrying Morocco on his back. Yes, I'm talking about the scoreline. Apart from that, he has been so instrumental in the attacking force of the Moroccan side, and I'm looking forward to see what he's going to do in this playoff. I just hope it's not just about the group wonders, because we've seen that happen so many times. When you get to the knockout stages, things changes. Okay, so that is just a wrap for us for match day 10, and I want to say, all your viewers, if you're joining for the first time, feel free to check out all our social media platforms on X, on Facebook, on Twitter, which is now X, and also on IG. You can also follow us on LinkedIn. And for our podcast, go check out all our podcast platform on YouTube Podcast, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and you can also check out our past episode on match day 1 down to match day 10. It keeps getting intense, and the drama is unfolding with a whole lot of tears on the pitch, and more is yet to come as the drama unfolds. Just to let you know, I am your host, like always, Insonet Uche, and with me right here is someone you need to know more, the Tici Barrah. So Tici Barrah, do you have any words for Nigeria team against the playoffs?
Well, keep the momentum, put the pressure, keep applying the pressure, and do not relent. There's still a long way for us to go.
Yeah.
But then how much you want it you just have to show how much you want it by putting up the gameplay, by showing your resilience. And so the test ahead of us is not such a strong one, but we must not be wary of the opponent because you know even what the Bible says, devil is looking around looking for who to devour. So you need to be wary of the opponent who is knocking, and you need to ensure that you are careful in executing that game. So good luck out there. A couple of Nigerian players have celebrated their birthdays in this during this tournament. Oshimen, Calvin Bassi, belated happy birthday to them. And I mean, they should go all out and win this one. That would be the best birthday gift that they could give to themselves.
All right, that's wonderful. You had it first from Tici Barrah. So it's been an enticing tournament so far, and I'm all here with my popcorn waiting for the drama. I'm all about the drama. I'm all about the drama and upset. I love the twist in the African Cup of Nations. So I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow is a wonderful new year, and is a wonderful time for us to share what happened on to the tournament. And Tici Barrah will be coming up sometime again throughout this tournament because we still have a long way to go up till the 18th of January. So keep staying glued on Blaqsport because Tici is not yet over with us at Blaqsport platform. I want to say thank you so much, Tici, for coming around. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much. All right, so we draw the curtains now.
The pleasure is mine.
Don't forget, wherever you are, Blaqsport will always surely find you. I'll see you on the next episode on March Day 11. Have a wonderful night. See you. Ciao.